I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video, back with some more confirmed transfers and some rumours as well. There are only a few confirmed. Zlatan Ibrahimovic signed new contract. I knew about this when I made yesterday's video, but didn't put it in there because it was, well, I just forgot to put it in there. I was going to put it in there right at the beginning and then just didn't do it. But here he is, confirmed that he's going to sign on another year. He wasn't originally meant to because the coach was leaving and a new coach would probably not have given him a contract. But since the restart, he's done really well. Moving on to KNOCKAERT. Now, this is something that confuses me slightly because I thought he was already a Fulham player but on loan, but apparently not. I don't really understand the inner workings of it, but he is now officially a Fulham player by transfer and isn't on loan at anyone and is now back at Fulham, and that is confirmed. And that's kind of where the confirmed-ness finishes off, because this is a 50-50 situation here with Chris Smalling. So, obviously he was on loan at Roma from Man United. He's done really well there. They want to keep him, so they were talking about maybe extending the loan. Man United want to sell him because they want the money, obviously, to be able to buy more players. Roma are struggling to meet the valuation, so there's every likelihood that he could end up back at Manchester United as their main centre-back. Let's move on to Wilfried Zaha. He has been linked with several clubs, Arsenal being one of the front runners. And there's a reason why it's 50-50, because I think he will leave Crystal Palace this season. You know, I think he's wanted to for the last 2 years, and it hasn't really happened for him. But I think he'll leave this season. Will he go to Arsenal? I'm not sure. Arsenal fans, would you want him at your club? Where I think he'll end up is Everton. I think this is a very, very good option for him. Moise Kean hasn't exactly done particularly well in an Everton shirt, so maybe they'll be looking to bring in an experienced Premier League striker. And of course, he's Crystal Palace's best player, so it would be a fairly big price tag, I would have thought, unless he's out of contract, although I don't think he is. But I can definitely see him at Everton. I don't know why, I just see him there. I think Arsenal have got their sights on a few other players, no more so than Willian, believe it or not. Now, he's up at Chelsea at contract, so he is free to leave this summer. And there are many, many Premier League clubs interested, and rightfully so as well. To be honest, if I was a top European club, I'd be interested. He's so good. Liverpool were rumoured to be interested. I just don't see this happening. Not that Liverpool and Chelsea players can't transfer between them, Torres, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Spurs seems quite likely. Arsenal is another one that's kind of on the edge. I think he'll definitely stay in the Premier League and will end up at either Spurs or Arsenal. Maybe Wolves? Let's move on to Aarons. This is a very, very interesting transfer. So, Norwich obviously got relegated. Aarons is far too good to be in the Championship. No disrespect to the Championship or Norwich. But I thought he'd maybe move to a Premier League club. You know, there are several Premier League clubs in need of decent right-backs. He's a very good right-back, and of course he's still very young. But apparently Bayern Munich are the team that are the front runners. And it doesn't surprise me when you think about it, because at the moment they have Pavard, makeshift right-back, and he's actually out injured. Stuani to Leeds. I mean, Leeds have been linked with everyone. My mother had to answer a few questions in the media yesterday. Was she going there? But it's just crazy how many players that Leeds are trying to sign. Stuani now, of course, he plays in the second tier of Spanish football. He's still prolific. I'm just not sure he's the type of player Leeds should be bringing in. I think they should be bringing in Premier League experienced players to try and keep them up for the first season. Chilwell from Leicester to Chelsea. Chelsea are just buying their way out of Europa League certainty into that sort of top bracket. And what I mean by that is they won't be, oh, I wonder if we can hit top 4 this season. It'll be, right, well, we know we've got, you know, like a Man City Liverpool situation. They know they're going to hit top 4. It's just a question of whether they can push for the title. That's exactly what Chelsea are trying to do this season. And with the team that they're assembling right now, they are going to push all the way to the very end for that league title. Speaking of league title, Man City need to do something about their defence, and they seem to be looking at newly relegated Bournemouth's Nathan Ake. This is a transfer that I've seen for the last 6 months. Every time I've seen Ake on the pitch against Man City, I think Guardiola's had a little word in his ear. There's a bit. I think there was a note passed at one point, and I would not be surprised to see him in a Man City shirt come the start of the new season. He'd be a brilliant signing for them as well. I think he's a really good player. Moving on to Pau Torres. I don't know an awful lot about him, and I haven't boosted his stats up for more than what I think he deserves, because I just don't know enough about him. But Man United are apparently very interested in Pau Torres, sent back from Villarreal. It'll be interesting to see whether they get him, because there are an awful lot of sort of moving parts to this. If, of course, they keep Chris Smalling, then he will play alongside Maguire. There's no need for Pau Torres. If he doesn't go back to United, then Pau Torres could be an option. He's also been linked with Manchester City. I don't see this happening personally. I think they'll go for someone like Nathan Ake. They might go for a big boy, like a Koulibaly or something. But I think Nathan Ake could be the one. This again has a lot of moving parts, and it sounds like, no, that's ridiculous. But Dean Henderson of Sheffield United is tied to contract at Manchester United. His loan has ended now with Sheffield United. They are in trouble, by the way, if they don't sign a world-class goalkeeper, because he saved them so many points last season. But if David De Gea stays at Man United, Henderson isn't going to want to sit on the bench having just played a full Premier League for a team who's overachieved. He's going to want to play again. So if Chelsea come in, then there's every possibility. And with that being said, what happens to the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, Kepa? He moves to Valencia. He's already been linked back to Spain, which is, again, I think going to be a reflection on what happens with Dean Henderson. There's no way that either one of these is going to want to sit out and play second fiddle to the other player. So we'll see what happens. Leeds United, again, in the news, and they've been linked with David. This guy is, he's a really exciting prospect. Forget FIFA's team of the season. I don't watch him regularly, but I've seen enough about him, right? But if you didn't know, I'm involved in the Football Index, which is basically a football stock market. I've got my eye on a lot of players. Jonathan David is a player that has been in my watch list for months. And then when he got his team of the season, I was really chuffed. If he goes to Leeds, that's a big, big signing. Ferran Torres, currently of Valencia, could end up as Manchester City's new right mid. I don't really understand how and why and where, though. What is the point in signing this guy? Because they have Sterling, they have Mahrez, they have so many players that can play in that position. Unless they plan to convert him to replace David Silva, I really don't understand the point of that transfer. Ousmane Dembélé has been linked with several clubs, Liverpool being one of them. He would probably play backup to Mo Salah unless Liverpool decided to sell Mo Salah, which I can't see happening this season. But Arsenal are a very likely team because he can play either side, left or right. They could end up selling either Aubameyang or Lacazette, keeping Pepe and Dembélé, and then playing whoever remains through the middle, which would be a pretty formidable attack. If, of course, Dembélé can stay fit, because he does have a problem with injuries. And you're not going to believe this. Lionel Messi linked with Inter Milan. Apparently he's got a soft link to Man City as well, but that image was used by Inter on an Italian cathedral to promote an upcoming game. That is Lionel Messi. There is a statement from the Inter manager saying that despite the club placing a promotional image of Barcelona star on a cathedral, it's not really a likely signing. It's more of a fantasy football-esque idea than us actually been able to sign. But Lionel Messi had until, I think it was the 1st of July, to decide whether he wanted to stay at Barca or not. He didn't exercise the decision to leave, so it's triggered another extension for 12 months. There is every possibility that Messi could end up leaving if the situation at Barcelona doesn't improve. And what I mean by that is, if they don't sign players that can compete with Real Madrid and dominate like they used to, then there's every possibility that Messi will decide to just go elsewhere for a final few seasons. It would be very interesting if he moved to Italy, because then, of course, he'd be playing against his former nemesis, Ronaldo. And that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think of all the transfers. A lot of Premier League-based players in there, but I am primarily Premier League. If I find out anything else, then I'll let you know. But I'll try and do one of these, maybe one a day, one every other day, if there's enough news to talk about, maybe enough speculation. If there's a transfer story that you know of, maybe you want an update of, let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.